Welcome back to Cirque du So Fit, and today we're going to be talking about how to get your New Year's resolutions to stick and make them work for you. Hello everyone! We're a couple days into the new year, so I figured this is a good time to get this video out. I think this is about when some people start to figure out that maybe their New Year's resolutions aren't quite going to work for them. So I wanted to talk about how to make them work. I feel like every year everyone has this low-level acceptance of, oh, this New Year's resolution isn't gonna work, when it could. You just really need to stick with it and find ways to do so. It almost sounds kind of lame when you really think about it, when you're like, oh, let's make SMART goals. But it actually makes sense if it's something that you've ever tried. The acronym SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. And so you create this guideline for yourself around these goals. So the biggest New Year's resolution ever is to lose weight, right? How specific is that? If you say, I want to lose weight, you lose a half a pound, great, you hit your goal. Maybe your goal is actually lose 50 pounds. There you go, you already made it more specific, right? So if we want to talk about losing weight in a way that frames it as a SMART goal, it would be, I want to lose 10 pounds, I want to lose it in 4 months, and that actually about covers it. So it really doesn't change a whole lot, it just gives you more of a guideline and a framework to go on. It's specific because it's specific on the amount of weight that you want to lose. It's measurable. It's attainable because you're not giving yourself too short of a timeline. You're going, oh, 4 months to lose 10 pounds. That takes into account the roller coaster that often comes with weight loss, and it takes into account the general rate at which most people lose weight. It's also a little bit more realistic than saying I want to lose 10 pounds in a month, which also just is not a healthy way to do things, FYI. My next tip is breaking down your larger goals into smaller goals. If you've ever tried to make giant sweeping changes or really tried to change your life, then you will know the feelings of almost panic after a couple of weeks when nothing's going right. All you're doing is like craving the wrong food, or you're not going to the gym 6 days a week like you had planned. So breaking your goals down into smaller goals and hitting those piece by piece, that is going to make it a lot easier on you, and it's going to make it a lot more attainable. So what I mean is, if you try to make giant sweeping changes, then oftentimes your brain doesn't like it. So you went from having fast food multiple times per week to having 2 salads a day and like oatmeal or chia pudding for breakfast. So suddenly your brain is going haywire because you made all of these changes all at once and it didn't have any time to adjust. So you want to take your goal and break it down. So say it is to eat better, make better eating choices. Then instead of changing everything throughout your day, take a couple of weeks and change 1 meal at a time. So that would mean going from eating a big muffin for breakfast to taking an extra couple minutes to make oatmeal or to make a couple of eggs to start your day out. It could be that you want to stop snacking first, and instead of reaching for chips or candy between meals, grabbing a handful of nuts or even just some veggies and hummus. So taking everything, taking that giant goal that you want to reach and making it into a couple of smaller ones. So over time, your brain has time to get used to what you're going for, and you don't end up hitting that really big, almost binge session where, say your goal was to go from going to the gym maybe once a week to going 6 days a week, and you tried that for 2 weeks and your body isn't liking it, your brain isn't liking it, so it's easy to start kind of falling off the wagon. So instead of going to the gym 6 days a week, say, I'll go to the gym twice a week versus maybe once a week for the next couple weeks. And after that, if that feels good, if that feels attainable, trying that third day and slowly adding on. Yeah, it takes a couple months to get there, but you're actually going to keep up this change versus kind of floundering and letting it go. My next tip is putting something at stake for yourself to give yourself a little extra motivation to go for it. And what works for most people is throwing money at their goals, and it doesn't have to be a lot of it. But when you have spent even as little as like $10 trying to give yourself some sort of motivation, then that gives you a little bit of extra stake in the race, right? Like you spent $10 to sign up for this community yoga class, and now you'll be out $10 if you don't go. So something like hiring a trainer often gets people off the couch and into the gym because they've spent all this money on a trainer, they may as well use it. Or say you make an appointment with a dietitian and on the spot you end up buying your next one. So it's extra motivation to keep following that meal plan moving forward. And it doesn't have to be a lot of money. It can be something as simple as every week when you go grocery shopping, you buy a couple extra veggies. And then by the end of the week, if you haven't eaten those veggies, then you lost out on the money for it and you ended up wasting food. So it doesn't have to be something big. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on it. And my last tip is sticking with it. This is often the hardest one, and this is where most of us tend to fall when it comes to reaching our goals. What it means is you have to commit to it. You have to take the time and energy every day to make sure that this happens. And it takes roughly about 2 months for you to start seeing any sort of change. It takes about 2 months for you to start feeling like it's habit versus something that you have to put effort into. But at the end of the day, it's the consistency that's going to make the change. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen if you go to the gym 3 days one week and 1 day the next week. It's going to happen if you make this change a part of your life. So taking those smaller changes and making them habit over 2 months versus taking a couple weeks trying it and then just kind of accepting it as a failure. And this is going to be true of any New Year's resolution, any goal that you have. Say your goal even is to compliment somebody once a day instead of talking shit. Then if you break that down to just holding your tongue, that's going to take a couple weeks to do because it's so easy to just drop back into that. Another one that's going to take time is, say, trying to clear your skin or get it more moisturized so you don't have as many like dry skin patches. That's going to take time and commitment too because you have to change your entire skin routine. And if you do that for 1 or 2 days a week, you're not going to know what kind of changes you're going to see if you're not doing it 7 days a week. So it's all about committing and consistently making it happen. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you learned something new today or picked up a couple things that will help you reach your goals, reach your resolutions, and make 2017 the best year that you can for yourself. If you liked what you saw, give this video a big thumbs up. And don't forget to join the circus and subscribe to my channel. Every week I'm going to be putting out workout videos as well as a video talking about breaking down different health and fitness things that we kind of hear but never really get to take an in-depth look at. So stuff like what we talked about today. If you have any questions or any requests coming up, feel free to leave a comment down below, or you can find me on Snapchat or on Instagram and you can submit anything there. And if you were interested in learning more about one-on-one training or remote training, then just shoot me an email at my business email. It's in the box down below. It's right underneath me right now. And thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And have fun getting out there and make yourself the best that you possibly can this year.